Hello guys and welcome to today's video. Welcome to another bookmas video. I'm so excited for today's video. We have another little reading vlog, but today my advent calendar is going to be choosing my next read. How excited, how excited. So we have my little advent calendar. First of all, can we just appreciate how cute this is with all the little illustrations on the boxes? How adorable. And essentially what I've done is taken each book on my Christmas TBR, written it on a bit of paper, put that bit of paper in one of these drawers, and then we also have some drawers that will say open number 8, for example. So we're going to generate a random number, open that door, and hopefully it will lead us to our next read. How fun! I'm really excited to do this. First of all, for the books that are on my Christmassy TBR, just so you know what's up for grabs, so you know what the options are. I have them behind me. I'm just going to go through these in a random order. Some of these are on my actual December TBR this month, and then some of them are just Christmassy books that I've picked up along the way and are on like my Christmas TBR, which I put them all together for this video because I want to give them all a chance of getting read at some point. So first of all, we have Christmas at the Borrow a Bookshop by Kylie Dunbar. This looks really cute. Looks so cute and it's so glittery. We love. Then we have The Christmas Tree Farm by Laura Gilmore, which is the third one in the Dream Harbour series, which I've been really excited to read ever since finishing Dream Harbour, the second book, just because I feel like they're such easy, fun little reads that are just perfect for whatever season you're in. Then we have One Christmas Eve, which is a newer addition to my TBR. This one follows 3 women over 3 decades and 3 different Christmas Eves. Then we have The Killer in the Cold by Alex Pine, which is my only Christmas thriller on this list, but I'm really excited to read a little festive thriller. And then we have A Jingle Bell Mingle by Julie Murphy and Sierra Simone. This is actually the third one in a series, but all the books are set in a little town called Christmas Notch. Then we have Just Like Magic, which looks like a lot of fun. This one has a bit of a magical realism aspect to it. We follow Betty, who drunkenly plays a record of All I Want for Christmas Is You backwards and accidentally conjures up a charming, handsome Christmas spirit. Then we have Bluebird Day, which is another really new addition to my TBR, and this one looks different to anything that I've read. I think this is more of a winter book rather than a Christmas one. It focuses on a mother-daughter relationship type thing. The vibe I get from it is basically this mother and daughter who are skiing champions, and they basically get stuck together and they're trying to work through the problems in their relationship. That's basically the vibe that I get from this. And it's all set in a little Swiss village, which is very cute, very wintry. So there are all the books that are going to be in my advent calendar and all the choices that we have. So let's randomly generate a number and see what we get. Okay. Can you hear that seagull? That's crazy. I have my phone. Let's do minimum 1, maximum 24, of course, because I've made sure that every box on here is actually filled with at least something, whether it's to open another door or whether it's the actual book itself. So we have 1 to 24. Okay, let's generate our number. We have number 18. Okay, now we need to find door number 18, which, oh, it's right at the bottom here with a little cute bunny on. How cute is that? And then inside, what do we have inside? What's in there? Okay, it's a tiny little one, so I think this is going to be open another door. Open number 11. Okay, now let's go find number 11. Why can I not see that? Oh, it's here with a little fairy. How cute are these illustrations? I'm obsessed. Okay, let's see what book we got. Do you want to look first? I'm gonna let you look first. Okay. What is it? One Christmas Eve. Okay. I'm actually really happy about that. Let's find it. Here we go. I actually found out about this book because I was researching Kindle Unlimited books, I think it was, for one of my TikTok videos. And I read the summary of this one and I was like, that sounds amazing. That sounds amazing. And then when I went book shopping, I actually saw it in the works and I was like, I've got to get it. I've got to get it because it just sounded really fun. So I'm actually really happy about that. Because I bought it after I made my December TBR, I wasn't sure if I'd get a chance to read it or not. But I'm happy that we gave it a chance of being picked and then it was picked. I'm excited about that. Like I said before, this basically follows 3 women over 3 decades on 3 different Christmas Eves. And I think the women are all in the same family and the stories kind of all connect together. So that's exciting. Yay! Okay, this is going to be our book for this reading vlog. Exciting. Just started reading One Christmas Eve and it's so fun. Literally from the get-go you really get the Christmas vibe and just the explanations of like the flat that she's in with all the Christmas decorations and even like what they're wearing Christmas pajamas and just the explanation of them is just so Christmassy. And also it's already made me giggle and I'm literally on page 6. And I just really like the way the main character is telling it because it starts off in the 2023 timeline and it's her and her best friend in their flat together and they're just bouncing off each other and you really get their dynamic straight away, which is really nice. I love it when that happens, when you get how characters are and how they are together literally from the get-go and you feel like you're almost joining in with their little inside jokes and everything. I have a good feeling about this book already, honestly. And there was also a little author's note at the start, which I love an author's note. And it was just basically explaining the premise of the book and how it's following 3 different decades on one Christmas Eve. And I like that she put, I adored exploring how the decisions made by the women in the past impacted the daughters who came after them. I don't know, I just thought that was such a nice way to kind of wrap up the story, even though I haven't read it yet. That just made me want to read it even more. Already in the first chapter, the main character's in a situation where already you're like, okay, we have questions, we have questions. So going well so far. On page 6, going well. It's the next day and I got about 75 pages into One Christmas Eve and I've been reading it both with the physical book but also it was on Kindle Unlimited, which I didn't realise. So I downloaded it this morning and I have been reading a bit on my Kindle as well. Well, it's technically not my Kindle, it's my mum's Kindle that she's very kindly lent me because for Black Friday I got the 99p Kindle Unlimited subscription for 3 months. So I'm going to be living my best life with said Kindle for the next 3 months. But when I'm reading a book I really like to interchange it between Kindle and physical, especially with a book like this where the writing is quite small. I just feel like when the text is smaller I actually read quicker on the Kindle than I do with the physical book, but I have been doing a bit of both and I'm really enjoying it so far. I'm really enjoying it. I think I kind of said briefly what it was about, following 3 different women on 3 different Christmas Eves and they're all in the same family. So we have Eve and then we follow Eve's mum, Helena, and then we follow Helena's mum, so Eve's grandma, who's called Kathy, and we follow each of them at different stages of their life and the situation that they're in. So it starts off with Eve and literally within the first chapter we find out that Eve has recently discovered that her dad isn't actually her dad. Which is just a crazy place to start, honestly. And I feel okay saying that because it's literally on like the 2nd page. But that's basically what we're following in her story. She wants to find out what went on, who her actual dad is. And then we also have her mum's story. I think we follow her mum when she's around 25. And in her timeline, she's about to be proposed to. And the guy that's going to propose to her is like her ideal person on paper. But I get the impression that she doesn't feel that giddy in love sort of feeling with him. So there's a bit of a mystery there. There's also a massive mystery with who she actually had a child with. And the timeline's also weird. Like Eve's trying to work out when her mum would have met this mystery man who is said to be her father. And then we also have Kathy, and I think at the minute Kathy's story is the one that I'm probably enjoying the most, just because I'm a real sucker for the type of story it is. It basically follows her, and I think she's around 30 years old, and it's her, and she's living with her sister, and she's married and she's pregnant, and one day the lost love of her life walks into her house and says, I'm back and I'm come to be with you. And she's married to somebody else, she's pregnant with somebody else's child. That's just crazy. That whole storyline is just crazy, and I think at the minute that one is my favourite, just because I love the whole soulmates meant to be together type thing. I love the whole they were meant to be together but they couldn't make it work at the time, and with the additional situation that she's in, being married to somebody else and pregnant, it really makes for a difficult situation. But I am enjoying all the timelines. I really like how all the timelines have something like a bit of a mystery about them as well, that just makes you want to keep reading. I also really like that in Eve's timeline, because it's present day, set in 2023, we get her going to lunch with her mum and her grandmother. So we get all three women whose stories we're reading about all together in Eve's timeline, and that means we also get to see where they are now and what they're like now. So yeah, that's basically what it's about. I feel like I've just rambled on and on about it, but I am really enjoying it, and I'm really intrigued to see where the timelines are going to go. And it's basically like 3 mini stories in one big one, which is quite nice. And it's also all divided into times. So the first one is 8 AM to 10 AM, and then it goes to 10 AM to 12, and then 12 to 2, and so on and so on. So we're basically going to get the whole day and what each person was doing that exact day. But that's my little update, and I'm hoping to get quite a bit further in today, because it's one of those books where I do want to pick it up again, because I just want to know what's going on with their story. And like I said, it's literally like 3 mini stories in one, and I just want to know what's going on in all of them. have about 100 pages left, so I'm very nearly done. I just wanted to do a little mini update before I finish it. As you saw last night, I was actually listening to the audiobook while I was colouring, and let me actually show you the little page that I did. I think I did show you yesterday, but how cute and cozy and Christmassy does that look? I'm obsessed, I'm obsessed. I was listening to an audiobook because I found it on Spotify, which is so exciting, and it meant that I could do things like colour and listen to it at the same time. And it was one of my favourite audiobooks that I've listened to so far. It was just so easy to listen to. Audiobooks, for me personally, and my experience with them, I find it one of the hardest to actually take in the information if I'm listening to it. So sometimes I do struggle a bit with audiobooks. This audiobook, I was in that world. I was literally with them. I was so invested, and also it felt like it didn't take loads of concentration for me to still understand what was going on. Like, I was happily colouring away in my own little world, and I still knew what had happened, and I still knew what was going on with the characters. I would definitely recommend the audiobook if you want to switch it up a bit, if you want something a bit different. I've literally read this book in every form you can. Physical, Kindle, audiobook, amazing, literally the whole thing. But I was really enjoying the audiobook and I literally got through it so quickly. So I just kept listening to one chapter and then the next and then the next, and then before you knew it I only had 200 pages left. Yeah, I just thought I'd give you a little update of my experience with the audiobook. And as for the actual book, I'm really liking it. I'm really liking it. I love how we're following these different timelines. I love how they're slowly kind of crossing over. I really like how each one just makes you want to keep reading. Like, there isn't one timeline that I prefer over the other. They're all very equal in terms of which one I want to keep reading and which one I want to find out about. And in every single one, something is happening that's making me think, what on earth? What on earth? And I'm just really enjoying it. I feel like I don't really have that much else to say. I'm gonna finish it hopefully today, and then either today or tomorrow I will update you with final thoughts and everything. And yeah, that's all. But I'm loving it so far. I'm loving it. Hello guys, it's the next day and I finished reading One Christmas Eve and I really liked this. I really liked it. I liked the whole premise. I liked that we were following these different women but they were all linked together. And what she said at the start in her author's note about women's decisions and how it affects the next generation, I feel like that's such a good way to sum it up. And it's a really interesting idea to base a book off. And I'm really glad that I read the author's note when I did, because when I was reading it and they were making the decisions they were making, I was like, that's so interesting. But because we get all the other perspectives as well, we see where they are now and how things ended up for them. So it's interesting having that hindsight to then go back and see when they actually made the decisions that they made and how it all played out. The ending as well was really nice, really nice. It was very satisfying how it all wrapped up and how each story was kind of tied up and tied together. I really enjoyed the setup of this one as well, because like I said earlier on in the vlog, it is like 3 mini stories and each story has a sort of mystery or a question that you're wanting to know the answer to, and each thing has its own kind of drama that you just want to keep reading it because you just want to know how everything turns out. And then also having the present day timeline and knowing where they end up, you're like, how did they get to this point? How did they get to this point when we've seen where they are in the past? I really enjoyed it. And it's up there with one of my favourite Christmas books that I've read. And I think for rating, I'm gonna rate this 4 stars. 4 stars. I just really enjoyed. I do kind of wish I'd saved it to read around Christmas Eve time. I don't know why that thought hadn't occurred to me. But at least now that I've read it, I can recommend it. And I personally would save this to read closer to Christmas, just because of the setting of it. And I love it when the time of books matches the time that you're reading it. I don't know why, I just love that. And that actually brings us to the end of this video. I really hope that you've enjoyed watching. Hope you've enjoyed coming along with my advent calendar, choosing my next read. And I can't believe that we only have one Bookmas day left. That's crazy. That is actually crazy. Genuinely cannot believe it, but I really hope that you've enjoyed my Bookmas videos. Please let me know if you did, and I will hopefully see you tomorrow for another Bookmas video.